Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Peter Goldstein, and I'm so excited to be bringing you yet another episode in our keynote series here with We Did It. I'm Peter Goldstein, founder of We Did It, and we are also excited to be making so many contributions to helping the vegan and whole food plant-based movements grow because our vision is for a healthy, happy, well-fed vegan world. And so our three pillars for our work is about relationships, resources, and community. Today's presentation has to do with relationships for sure, and I am ever so excited to bring you Mariquita Solis, and she's going to talk with us about taking responsibility for our relationships for healing. So we all have had challenges in our relationships. We have all had the situation where we push people away, where we actually sometimes, I hate to say it, really piss people off. But here we are. This month, we're dedicating it to healing relationships. And with that, Mariquita, she's a vegan empowerment coach and a wonderful coach at that. So I'm going to, without any further ado, bring her on, and she will tell you about herself, her work, and she has an amazing presentation for us all. So let me, I guess, before I bring her on, remind you, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, join us in our Facebook groups, Vegan and Whole Food Plant-Based Ambassadors. Check out our certification program and premium community. So with that, I will bring Mariquita on, and here she is. Hello, Mariquita, and welcome.
Thank you, Peter. I'm excited to be here, and thanks everybody for watching. This is an honor for me.
Well,
So,
excellent.
yeah, and I
It's an
love
honor
working with
for us.
right, and I work with We Did It. So, I mean, it's very powerful that we're together, allies here, all of us, everyone watching it. So,
Yes.
so today we're going to be talking about taking responsibility for healing in your relationships. So, if you're ready, let's get started.
Whoops, I did the wrong thing there. There we go.
Here. All right. Whoops.
All right,
Let's see
I'm going
here.
to let you drive. Keita, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Let me see if we can. How do we do this?
Okay,
Um,
we do this, and
okay, here we go. Let me jump over here. All right. So, what we're talking about today is taking responsibility for healing in your relationships. And this can be a very tricky subject, and it makes me, I can feel nervous thinking about, I've got to take responsibility for healing. What do you mean? It's somebody else's fault, right? So, we're going to do this with gentleness and kindness, knowing that we are perfectly imperfect beings. So, who am I? Let me get to my screen here. All right. Well, I'm a vegan empowerment coach. I also work with We Did It Health with Peter's team in relationships, in the relationship community. The relationships are very, very important to me because I used to struggle with relationships, and I really hated the relationship I had with myself. So I turned that around, and now I help people as a vegan empowerment coach,
so
starting with
excuse me,
myself.
Marquita. I hate to interrupt you, but your slides aren't advancing. I think you mean for them to be advancing.
Oh, well, I was going to just talk about a couple of things here.
Okay. All
I'm on,
right. Just
I'm on the second slide. Do you see the second slide? Vegan empowerment coach, team
nope.
member of We Did It.
You're still on the
Okay.
first slide.
All right. Let me see here. All right. Well, then I'm not sure what's going on.
You may need to go into presentation view.
Okay. Let me see here. All right. Maybe that's what's wrong. Well, it says I'm on presenter view.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
We'll just click on your second slide on the in the right hand column, left hand column, whatever that is.
all right. Let's see here. Well, it's showing me. Maybe I should just unhook the other monitor. I don't know if that'll be better. So what do you see now?
Taking responsibility for healing in your relationships.
All right. Let me start over. I don't know why it's not working.
Yes, so thank you, technology gods, for playing games with us and for making us all laugh. I really hope everybody watching this has a great sense of humor. And probably even more than that, I hope that our wonderful team will be able to edit this part out on YouTube. So thank you
Okay.
everybody for being patient. That does look better.
Okay, now are you seeing the second one? Or no?
Yes, I'm seeing the second one. And Mariquita, I'm sorry, an audience, live audience, but if you would just start it from the top and let's ask Mac to edit this out.
Okay, let me try to get back to my thing. Okay, so now the
Right, there
slides
you
are
go.
working. Okay.
All right.
All right, everybody. So taking responsibility for healing in your relationships. That's what we're talking about today. So thank you for joining. I'm very honored to be here. And so who am I? And the slides are working? Everything? Everybody good? Um, so I'm a team member of We Did It Health. That's very important to me, working with We Did It, because my mission is to empower people through healthy living, living in the belief, in their belief of where they are, knowing that they are beautiful creators in this world, right? We're creating a life for ourselves. So I empower vegans to step into peacefulness and strength and valuing themselves. So I'm a vegan lifestyle coach and educator. I went to Victoria Moran's Main Street Vegan Academy. I'm a feminine empowerment coach, really using the feminine energy of gentleness, discovery, and allowing into our relationships. And I'm also an animal rights activist with Georgia Animal Rights and Protection. I've done a lot of protesting and speaking up for animals with them. I'm also an animal handler at the Chattahoochee Nature Center. I work with, let's see, our state tortoise, our state reptile is a gopher tortoise in Georgia. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm also a animal handler. I just trained with snakes, so that's always fun. I'm the animal ministry at Unity North Church, the animal ministry leader. And that's so important to me because I try to I try to really educate people on how all animals are important, not just our pets. And I'm also a dog mom to my little rescue chihuahua mix, Louie. All right. So here I am living my mission. This is with Georgia Animal Rights and Protection, the fur protest we did at Lenox Mall. This is me with as an animal handler with this beautiful, peaceful snake. And then there I am at the Animal Activist March in December. That's with in Atlanta, Georgia, also, where we marched in the streets, which was amazing. All right, and this is also what I love to do is eat very healthy foods, really food from our earth. That's why it's my passion to be part of We Did It Health. I used to live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I love roasting. I loved green chilies, and I tried to do it myself. And I learned the hard lesson of making sure you wear gloves because my hands were burning afterwards at night. And but I did get them, some of them roasted, so that was a big deal for me. And there's my little accomplishment. And let's see here. All right, so we're starting today with um, gratitude for I can't see my notes, but that's okay. I understand. I know this. We're starting today with gratitude for you being here and for everyone in our lives that has come into our lives that meant something to us. We're really going to hold this energy. And it takes courage to do this. Courage. So it's very important that we acknowledge ourselves to to bring this energy of Thanksgiving. And I saw an article this morning, it came to my email, and it was talking about what's the one phrase that healthy relationships have most, that they use the most, and it was thank you. So let's start this off, this presentation, with thank you for being here. Thank you for the wonderful people that have brought love to your relationships, and see how we can heal these relationships. So I can't see my notes, so I'm going to move on though. And there are some things that I would like to, I'm going to have to reach down and get my notebook. But we want to talk about this with respectfulness. Respectfulness for ourselves and everyone involved. With honor and with grace. This is a graceful process. So if we're feeling stressed or we're feeling unsure, we're going to take our time to heal relationships and work on our relationships when we have the energy of gracefulness. It might be we might feel nervous, and that's okay. We might feel afraid, and that's okay. But being gentle with ourselves. So in this process, we're going to let go of shame. We're going to let go of judgment and guilt, defensiveness, blame, opposition, somebody having to be right, saying, well, I'm right and you're wrong, the adversarial situations that really harm our relationships, and letting go of self-righteousness. I know a lot of times I could come across as being, wow, I know everything, and who are you? You don't know anything. Let me tell you my beliefs. And and I've done it, yes. And in retrospect, I feel sadness for that. I might feel shame. I might feel guilt, right? So what's the difference between shame and guilt? Guilt is I did something wrong. And shame is I am wrong. I'm bad. So we're letting go of this today. So what we're going to bring in, this is for us, bring into our energy field, is self-compassion. The fact that you're here is beautiful. It says, I want to heal. I'm curious, right? Again, about the feminine energy, the discovery process. I want to learn. I'm going to be empathetic with myself. I'm going to be kind to myself and realize I didn't mean to harm these relationships. It was something that happened, and I'm growing, and I'm learning the lessons of life, and I'm taking responsibility for everything in my life, because I've created everything in my life, right? Bad things possible, things happen that I didn't like, and maybe traumatic events happened, and I'm doing my best now to heal with empathy and love and acceptance. Acceptance that things don't always go right. Acceptance that life is up and down. That we are perfectly imperfect humans on this human experience of life. Really, really sitting in this belief that we're beautiful, yet perfectly imperfect. And that's it's nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's beautiful to be perfectly imperfect. So really stepping into that energy of discovery and learning. Failing, we fail and we learn. We fail quickly and we get up and we go on. We're resilient beings because we are compassionate to ourselves. We don't beat ourselves up. So we're letting go of these things that hold us back. Okay, the SCARF model. And that's what that I need my notes for, because I want to make sure that I get this exactly right. And telling you, this is, it's very important. And now I'm going to have to find my notes because I don't have the notes on the screen. So bear with me a second here, if I can find them quickly. Well, status. I'll just tell you, the status is, we want to make sure that no one feels like they're better I'm not better than you. When we're going into relationship healing, we don't I don't want you to think, well, I know it all and you don't, or I'm over you. I know everything. I'm the leader and you're a student. In order for safe healing to occur, we need to be on the same level. We don't want to go in there acting as if we're better than someone else. Certainty. In order for healing, people want to feel safe. They want to know what's happening next. So that's why it's very important to set the situation up and let people know, that this is a time I'd like to share. I'd like to work with you together about our relationship. And it's in the energy of love, right? So they're not scared. They feel certain this is going to be a safe situation. So these are very, very important to bring into if you want this healing relationship. So autonomy. So I'm going to have to give you a good definition because this is where I need my notes for that. The ability to make your own decisions about what to do, right, rather than being influenced by someone else, right? We don't want to be told what to do. We want to feel like we can make a decision about our lives. So that's very important. Relatedness. I mean, how we relate to people. And so I wish that I could find my notes for exactly how it is in this situation. Well, let me go on to fairness. We all know what that is. Fairness. We want to be treated fairly. In fact, Chris Voss, who is the FBI negotiator, talks about that. He says when he's negotiating, let me know if you don't think that I'm treating you fairly. It's very, very important that we all feel safe. These are elements to safety. So let's see, I'm about to find my notes here. All right. So what I wanted to clear up on was the relatedness, how it is applied to here. And so creating a sense of safety for others, right? When we're authentic, open, empathetic, and supportive, other people feel safer. Like when we're being vulnerable and we're being open and we're sharing from our hearts, other people feel safe. So this is, let me tell you, sorry y'all about this because I can't see my notes again. I want to tell you what the SCARF model is about building trust and creating a reward state. So this is to build trust and intimacy, right? We don't want our amygdalas, which is the area of our brain that's the fear area, right? We don't want that to be activated. So if we're taking these 5 elements and bringing them in, we're creating a sense of safety. So this is crucial for healing relationships. All right. Selective listening. Selective listening is when we pick and choose what we want to hear. And I do this a lot, and I'm guilty of it. So I have to be aware that I need to be listening, not just what I want to hear from someone, but to take responsibility for having deep listening. So let me go to the next one. Active listening is when we are paying attention. We're not doing 100 things at once. We're not multitasking, but we're actively listening. Deep listening comes from the heart. It's empathy. And it's really feeling what you're hearing. And it's not thinking, oh, well, this is what I'm going to say. No, you're really in tune with the person. So deep listening is crucial for these relationship healings. All right, so communication. Let's talk about this. This is very, very important. For me, relationships are the number one priority in my life. And how we communicate is everything. We know that we're going to have issues in relationships. So it's to our best to be good communicators. So reactive communication is based on the past. Who did what to whom? And this is blaming. Who is at fault? So if we go into a conversation, we start blaming someone. Well, you made me feel like this, and you did this, and you did that. That's reactive. And that is totally, it's just sets up for failure. And that's not what we want here. We want kindness. So generative communication is based on the future, and it opens up to new possibilities, unlimited potential. That's what we need here for healing. We don't want to be stuck on the problems, right? Problem focused. Who did it? Why did you do it? No, that's problem focused. We want to move into solution focus. What can we do to heal this relationship? So we're going to bring in empathy, empathy for myself and empathy for the other person. Compassion, compassion for myself that I did the best I could. Maybe I said the wrong things because I'm a human being in this human experience. Compassion for other people. They did the best they could. Everyone is trying to be happy here. Every one of us wants happiness. Every one of us wants peace. So being understanding of that we all have our own journey of life. My journey is different from their journey. I might have been around animals my whole life, and so I was able to kind of connect the dots easier than others that weren't around animals their whole life, that had other experiences about veganism, right? So thank God I was able to connect. I mean, it wasn't right off the bat because in college I wasn't ready. I was ready when it was my time. So that's very important that we have acceptance of that. Everyone is ready when it's their time. And it's not up to us to say when it's their time for anything. So these are the tools we're bringing in. So taking responsibility. So this can be very tricky. It's easy to just throw the guilt and blame, I mean, not the guilt, but the blame on someone else, right? It's easy to say it was their fault. Here's what's right and here's what's wrong. And why won't they listen? That's very easy to do. And I've done it. I do it. And I have to catch myself and I have to take responsibility. I have to step up. So what's the first step? Letting go of the old story that's playing. So let's just say I had a friend that I really wanted to share veganism with, or I did, and I was too forceful. And so for years I said, well, we're not friends anymore because I tried to tell her about veganism and she didn't want to hear and she thought I was crazy. And that's the story I tell in my mind. And I was right and she was wrong, right? So if we have that old story, we can never move from that old story. We've got to let go of that old story and put it away and step into newness, just like we were talking about before, into discovery. What's the new story? Look at how you are a co-creator in the relationship. What part did I do to cause this relationship to be where it is today? Was I too pushy? Did I not listen to my friend? Did I not understand their point of view? What part did I play in it? And how can I take responsibility for that? Not beating myself up, just looking at it with awareness. Maybe like Mr. Spock would look at it, just not taking a look at it, not with judgment, not with anger, but just logically, kindly though. And what part did you play in it? Did I play a victim? Listen to them. They wouldn't. I want to tell you about my friend who refused to hear me and what a jerk they were. And I was trying to do everything I could for the planet and the animals, and they wouldn't listen. And now I've turned myself into a victim. And that doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help me because I don't want to be a victim. I want to be a creator. I want to step into my power. I don't want to be a victim. And how did I impact the other person? How did the other person feel when I was telling them? Maybe when they weren't ready to hear. Maybe I didn't offer an invitation. Would you like to hear this? What were their feelings? Did I even ask? Can I take responsibility for not caring about their feelings? I mean, this can be a hard pill to swallow. So this is what Chris Voss says, the FBI negotiator I was telling you about. And he has a great book. And I think I have it right here, but let's see if I do. Yep, this is it right here. If you can see it, because I can't see you all. Never split the difference, negotiating as if your life depended on it. So he says, go ahead and call it out, call yourself like, I'm sorry, I was the jerk here, right? Because they're probably thinking you're a jerk. So it's better if you say, hey, I'm sorry, I was the jerk, right? I want to talk about our relationship. I want to get it back to where it was before, not just get it back to where it was before, but I want to take it to a deeper, greater level of relationship. And then it's up to them to say yes or no if they'd like to do that. And be respectful. If they don't want to, then say, thank you for taking time to talk to me. Thank you for listening, right? We always want to be grateful and to hold that energy of peacefulness. All right. So these are action steps to do. So first we start with thank you, which is not on here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. And to invite you to talk about our relationship. You're a really important part of my life. I love you, and I want to clear this air. I want to do right, right? So show up differently than you did before. No longer are you the victim, but now you're someone taking responsibility. You're a creator in this relationship, and you are powerful. You have the power to change the outcome of this relationship. So you show up knowing that with kindness, with empathy, with compassion for everyone involved. You're not there with an agenda, you're there to talk and heal. You accept responsibility for your part in this relationship without any excuses, without a whole list of reasons. No, I accept that I tried to push this down your throat, and I'm so sorry, right? I'm so sorry. It was wrong for me to do that, and I want to respect you in a better way, at a higher level than I ever have before. Acknowledge how it made the person feel. Really think about the person. Ask them, how did this make you feel? And validate them. If they say, I felt scared, or I felt mad, I felt threatened, I felt this, acknowledge that. I hear you felt sad. I hear you felt angry. And I don't want you to feel that way. I don't want that between us. Do this with kindness and compassion in your heart. Because these are the steps to healing. Ask them how you can make amends to them. What can I do to show you that I care about you? What can I do to make this right? What can I do to make our relationship right? Because you mean so much to me, and I love you, and I'm willing to show you that this is true. What can I do for you? And listen to them. They're going to love that you came to them, that you're showing up for them. If they want to heal this relationship, they're going to want to work with you. And you are very important. You are beautiful. So we're acknowledging that already. You are beautiful and you're important. So commit to working and being aware of everyone's feelings and needs in the relationship. Your needs, their needs, honoring them all, and accept, right? We're accepting. If you can't come to an agreement about, let's say, veganism or whole food plant-based eating or whatever it is, or adopting dogs versus buying dogs, we have to accept that we are going to be able to speak to people that are ready to hear us, right? If they do not want to heal their relationship, if they don't want to, if they don't understand that that's okay, it's all right to disagree, that we're not better than they are. We're not holding this higher moral ground, right? And that's back to the scarf model of everyone is on the same playing field, right? Well, no one's better than anyone. We all want to be safe. We all want to be happy. We all want to be loved. And it can be very challenging for people to hear the message sometimes. So we're committing to this relationship, wherever it stands, wherever they are in the process of life, of acknowledging that and thanking them. Again, thank you for taking the time today to be with me. And maybe this is a lot for you. And let's think about it. We don't have to do everything today. We're going to go be gentle with ourselves. If you need more time to think about that, I honor that. And I'm thankful for you for being honest with me. So the more vulnerable you are with people, the more you open up with people, the more that they are going to feel safe and the more that they're going to want to open up and be vulnerable to you. So really acknowledging that whatever you felt, like I really feel sad about our relationship in the state it's in, I love you, I want you to know that I care about you. That's vulnerability and it's beautiful. That's what's healing. And the more that we build rapport with people, the more that they're going to care about what we care about, right? I mean, not that they're going to change to be like us, but what we feel is going to be important to them. Because just like the more that we care about someone, the more that we care about what's important to them. So it's crucial that we have wonderful, strong relationships. And we know that we're going to have problems, but what are we going to do when we do have these issues? We've got to have clear, loving communication to heal. So we don't get into these, we don't get into these problems where relationships are in this very uncomfortable or stressed mode, right? Where we go to the family and we don't want to be around them. We're scared to be around them because these issues haven't been addressed. There hasn't been healing. It's very challenging, very difficult, and it hurts. It hurts everyone. So these are action steps, and this is something to think about, right? This is not something you have to go do right now. This is something to just let it seep in with gentleness and kindness for yourself. This is new awareness, a discovery process. So when the time is right, that's the key here, when the time is right. So I'm not sure, let's see what the next slide is because I'm not in presenter mode, but here we go. All right, tell the person how much they mean to you. Ask permission to share about veganism or ask permission, right? I'd like to invite you to hearing more about what's important in my life. Would you like to hear it, right? So this is a whole different way of speaking to someone instead of just saying, well, this is the way it is, right? Speaking from your heart. I love animals. I love animals. And this is what feels right for me. This is what I live in alignment with, right? And I'm not trying to force you to do it. So I'm not going to say that, but that's what I'm expressing here. I'm not going to force anyone to do it. But what I am going to do is speak with passion from my heart. This is important to me. I love the earth. Right? So you're not making them feel like they have to change. No, we're letting go of outcomes. We're not going to say, all right, I'm going to go talk to Donna today and I'm going to tell her this and she's going to say this and then it's going to be great. No. And if I tell her this and she says this, and says something I don't like, it's going to be horrible. We're going to let go of all of that. We're going to step into the feminine energy, the discovery, kindness, and love, and see what unfolds. And we're going to be okay and accept. And mindfulness, again, this is crucial. Mindfulness that you're planting seeds. If we're talking about veganism and whole food, plant-based, whole food plant-based living, we're just planting a seed. Seeds don't grow immediately when we plant them. They take time. We water them with love and kindness and kindness. Can you imagine if we planted a seed and we screamed at it, or we got mad and stomped at it because it stomped on it because it wasn't growing, or we ripped up the soil? So we don't want to do that with people either. We plant the seed and we come back and share love with them. We keep sharing love, right? How are you doing? We love you. And then we're ready for when they want to talk more, right? That might be years. We're not going to be mad at them for being on their journey. We're going to allow and accept. Okay, so let me know what you think about that. And again, it's all a journey at your pace. All right, and so I have come to this. I'm starting a group coaching at the end of February. Become an effective, confident, peaceful activist in 3 months. This is about a group that comes together. We support each other. You have an agenda, and we get it done at the end of 3 months. If you want to be a part of this, you've got to really step up to the plate. If you're ready to step up for this, and that means taking radical responsibility also, just all of this is tied together, living in confidence, then message me. And if you let me know you saw this here, I'll give you a 10% discount on the price. Just say that I saw it on We Did It, and I will give you 10% off. This is how you can reach me. Mariquitasolis.com. Oh, let's see, there's my Gmail. I have a Facebook group, Empowered Vegans, Voices of Strength from Mother Earth. We're not beggars. We are not people crying in a hole. We are strong, confident, effective advocates for animals, for our planet, and for health, right? We are not beggars. We're strong. You're beautiful. You have what it takes. So I have a lot of great YouTube videos. Check my YouTube out. I have a lot of wonderful influencers on there taking action. I want you to take action. I want you to step into who you are. Know that the universe is supporting you. Know that the animals thank you for everything you're doing. Everything you're doing is beautiful. And I thank you. Thank you for your amazing contribution to our world. Amen to that, because you all have done so much. The fact that you have shifted into the food choices you made every time you go to the grocery store is an impact on our world. Every bite you take is an impact on our world. So thank you so much, and really reach out to me. I would love to connect with you more, all of you all, because like I said before, relationships are everything to me. That is crucial in my life, is beautiful relationships.
Well, that's beautiful, Mariquita. Thank you so very much for sharing that, and you've done a beautiful job, even with the technology challenges and that somehow we cannot control and creep into different situations. So my hat off to you for the presentation, which was wonderful. I love listening to you. I love how you are really relating all this from your heart, and your heart and your caring and your compassion just comes through so beautifully. So thank you for that, and thank you for all you do. I love the things that you talked about. You, I really I noticed that the thing that you said about deep listening, and deep listening is so very important, and it's so hard to do sometimes in this fast moving, fast paced world that we live in. So I happen to know that's one of Stephen Covey's seven habits of highly effective people. Let me see if I can see it here. Uh, One of the habits is seek to understand and then to be understood. So listening is something that Stephen Covey had identified as being so very important. We all love to be heard. Is there some more that you could say on that for us?
Well, definitely. I mean, if we first of all, we've got to. I know that Dr. Angela Crawford talks about this, about feeling safe And so people feel safe when they're heard, right? When we don't hear people, I mean, that's threatening to the other person. Everyone wants to feel like they matter. So when we are listening from our hearts, we're showing people they matter. People are aware. I mean, we might be trying to fool them, but they know, they can sense when you matter to someone. And it's a tremendous gift. It's something that we've got to let go of what we're going to say. We've got all this stuff to say instead of listening. And that's again what Chris Voss talks about in the FBI negotiator. He wants to hear what's important to them, right? You've got to find out what's important to them in order to build rapport. And it's not some trick or something. It's about really stepping into loving relationships, right? This builds community. This builds, I mean, that's what we want. How do we thrive without this? We can't.
Beautiful. So somebody in our audience would like to hear you talk more about letting go of outcomes. They think that's really important. Um, uh, yeah, I suppose it's pretty clear that when we walk into a situation expecting it to have to turn out a certain way, then we certainly don't have the other person feel like they're being heard. So, can you elaborate on that a little bit more? And
Yeah, for our own peace of mind, just for ourselves to live in peace, we've got to let go of outcomes because if we're attached to something happening the way we want it to, then we're going to make ourselves go, I mean, just be sad and angry. And then we'll just go, I mean, we're on that loop of this didn't happen right. This didn't happen. It should have gone like this, should have gone like this. But in order to have a more effective conversation, we've got to let go of outcomes. We're talking about effective relationships. In order to make a difference with animals, with the planet, with our health, we have to have the foundation of a good relationship. And that is letting go of outcomes. It starts with a strong foundation. So, letting go of outcomes, stepping into peace, listening, deep listening, respecting the other person, acknowledging they are not you, right? They're on their own journey, acknowledging this is someone that has had different experiences in their life. They haven't had the same experiences I have. This is very important. And I'm going to listen to what they want to say. I'm going to put myself to the side and I'm going to listen to what they have to say.
oh, that's beautiful. Yes. And then of course move into you've mentioned compassion so much. Move into the compassion, move into understanding where they're coming from and perhaps be looking for what it is that they could hear that might help them be curious about the message that you're passing on to them.
Right. And we've got to remember that people have grown up. I mean, have if we're talking about veganism or whole food plant-based living, we have been we're talking to people that have been receiving these mixed messages from the media, right? From the government, from all sorts of places about what healthy food is. One day we hear eggs are good for you. One day we hear they're not, right? And so of course people are going to be confused. Of course people aren't going to understand. I mean, for years milk does a body, whatever, that little thing. So right? So we hear these messages over and over and over. And so no wonder people get confused. We've got to put ourselves in their shoes. That's so important, putting ourselves in that person's shoes. And that's why we ask them. If we can't understand, we ask them, tell me what you're feeling, tell me what you're thinking. And we're respectful. We don't make fun of them for feeling that way. We validate their feelings, we validate their thoughts. If they say, well, I can't give up eating cheese, a lot of people say, yes, you can, it's not hard. Well, that's not validating, that's not compassion for the other person, that's not understanding. We're not listening to what they're saying. They're saying, I can't imagine a life without cheese, right? What are they really saying? So they might be scared. They might think, well, I'm never going to have a good meal again. How am I going to give up this, right? These foods are very addictive. So we've got to have compassion. We've got to find out from them, again, listening and sitting in a heart centered space of what their needs are. How can I help you? You know, if you're ever interested in giving up cheese, I'd love to support you. I'm here for you. These are healing words. So if we're coming from a place of healing, everything and kindness, our relationships are going to grow.
That's beautiful. So, how would a person feel if they say I can't give up cheese? If I start asking them questions like, so why do you think that is, or what is it about cheese that makes it hard for you to give it up? Would that be a good thing to do to ask them questions like that, or would that somehow invalidate them, or uh, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I would say, would it be okay if I ask you, what is it about cheese? And also let them know that you understand, yes, cheese was hard and it's hard for a lot of people to give up. Validate them that, yes, it can be hard. And it'd be okay if I ask you to tell me a little bit more. So, and then they have the choice, yes or no. Yes, I would like to talk about it more. No, I don't. And that's very respectful.
Hmm.
And that's where a lot of times we forget. We're not
Hmm.
bringing respectfulness in. And I'm very guilty of it. I'm not a saint here. I'm not sitting up higher than anyone else, right? I've struggled with relationships and said things that I regret and I've had to take responsibility for. And I've had relationships suffer and suffer because I didn't take
Hmm.
responsibility because I wanted to blame the other person. And like my dating life, oh yeah, all the guys I dated were jerks. Well, what was I doing? What was I doing? It wasn't the guys were jerks, right? I didn't set myself up as someone that would stand up for her values, right? So it was on me. It wasn't on them. I allowed them to treat me that way. So that's taking responsibility. And it wasn't easy to do that, right? It's not easy to take responsibility sometimes. It's a soul searching thing. It's something from the heart. And that's why I'm saying what I talked about today, you don't have to go out and do it tomorrow. Just let it sit, right? Let it sit and take it in. Think about it. Think about the relationships you have and be gentle with yourself because it's self compassion. The more self compassion that you have, the more compassion you have for others. And I had to learn that the hard way. I hated myself, right? I hated myself for years. And when I finally got the book Self Compassion, because I was at the end of my rope, I didn't know what to do. I can't go on hating myself. I just know I'm miserable. I got the book Self Compassion by Kristen Neff, and that was the beginning of my journey. And that's why I'm able to be compassionate with other people because of the compassion I developed for myself. But this was over a long period of time. So that's what I'm saying. Be gentle with yourselves.
That's wonderful advice, and yeah, thank you for speaking up on this. I know that uh, we've had so many relationships suffer, and it's been such a challenge to show up in this world with people who aren't vegan or plant-based and who don't understand, and to get them to understand. But then once we do, we really end up hurting our relationships. And so first I think we need lots of learning in how to manage, how to create, how to uh, to nurture our relationships, and then of course a lot of work behind that comes to then heal the ones that we've hurt. And um, my goodness, I know that there's a lot of hurt relationships. Just look at how many people have negative feelings about vegans. I mean, tell somebody we're vegan, and it's not like it's certainly not a neutral topic in so many situations, and people are so prejudging of uh, of vegans, and that's probably because of the negative relationship situations vegans have created in the past. And I suppose you're talking about taking responsibility for ourselves, and that's such a beautiful thing you brought up. And it seems like it's not just taking responsibility for myself, but maybe goes beyond that, and taking responsibility for our community, and how how as a community we have pushed people away. So it's not just an individual responsibility, but for all of us. Oh my goodness. I see we have a long comment here from Lori. Um, and let's see what happens if I put it up on screen. It's bigger than the screen itself. So I'm going to just hide it again. Lori, if you can just type some keywords, I would love to uh, check my agenda. You say, thank you for that. Check my agenda at the door. Yes, that's wonderful advice. So Lori Stein says to check our agenda at the door and enter the conversation, getting a sense of where someone is at that moment. Great advice. Yes.
Yeah, that's very, very powerful, right? Not where we think they should be, but where are they? Right? Definitely. Um, I love that. And then that informs. So if she's listening, she's talking about not making assumptions, and that um, informs her to whether the timing is good to bring up whatever is on my mind. Respecting that they are at that moment in time has been a real game changer in my life. Yes, amen to that. Thank you, Lori, for that great comment. Yes, and Peter, what you were saying about taking responsibility for us as vegans, as a group, where we push people away. And so I bet you, here's what I think Chris Voss might say to that is like when we meet people and we say, somehow it comes up that we're vegan, we could just right away say it. Oh, I'm a vegan. You probably think that I'm a crazy fanatic, right? I'm a crazy fanatical vegan, right? That's what he would do. And that's what he talks about. You call it out before they call it out, right? You say it.
Oh,
I'm a nut
beautiful.
vegan, right? So then that stops it right there, right? And you laugh about it. Yeah, I guess I bet you probably think vegans are some loony jobs, right? So you've already brought it out. And then you say,
Wow.
but I'm a peaceful vegan, right? I just want you to know that if you've heard of this thing about vegans, what I'm going to show you right now is that I'm a vegan that loves. It's speaking from the heart, right? If you don't even want to talk about it, that's fine, right? So that's how you said it. Certainty here. Again, we talked about the scarf model. That's certainty. You're telling them this is where it's going to be. You're not going to be bullied. You're not going to be pushed into a corner.
Hmm. Yeah, that's beautiful. And Marquita, I would love to hear from you in the future about some strategies about how we heal relationships from the perspective of speaking for the vegan community. And it's beautiful. I've known that you're so passionate about healing relationships, and certainly our theme for the month of January has been healing relationships, and that is our big theme right now. But for me personally, I hadn't thought of it up till now that we're really doing it on two levels. We're doing it personally with all the people that we've pushed away, and we would love to heal those relationships. And I love that we're starting this conversation. I know this is a thread, this is a conversation we want to carry on for forever in all our work. But it's not just our personal relationships, but our relationships, our healing relationships from the perspective that we, in fact, are ambassadors. We are ambassadors of the movement. How do we heal relationships on behalf of the movement with helping people have a more loving, a more welcoming understanding that in fact we're not angry people, we're not people who are out here to chastise and put people down, but in fact we're vegan because we're compassionate. So yeah, it'd be so cool to be able to, as ambassadors, get the world to start seeing us for our compassion rather than all the stuff that has damaged our relationships.
Well, I think, yeah, that's very, very important. I think each group would have to say it. Like, let's just say there's a group, the animal allegiance for something, right? And maybe they've been very hateful, right? Each group would have to call it out. Group would have to say, you know what, we might have gone about this the wrong way, and we ask for your apology, right? And I think that's how you would do it. You would take it like we don't want to communicate. If we've offended anyone, we want to say we're sorry right now. We're going about it a different way. You I think that's what would have to happen. And but so this is, like I said, this takes courage. It's
It
not some
takes
simple
courage.
thing.
It does
Yeah,
take courage. You're right. You're right. Yeah, thank you for this conversation. You brought some amazing points to light here, and this is so very important. And clearly now I see it from a whole nother level too. So it's so critical in our personal relationships. But boy, the whole movement will gain ground and make advances if we all as ambassadors could be representing that in everybody we talk to, be being sensitive to to the relationship breakdowns that people have when they think of vegans, and and if we can all start healing that and planting those seeds, the seeds that show that we are really doing this because we're compassionate. And I guess it's understandable how people feel, because if we go and say, I'm compassionate and I'm going to beat you over the head until you get to be compassionate too, right? And that's kind of what's happened. This is beautiful. Mariquita, I so appreciate you bringing up this conversation. It's such an important thread for us to keep looking at.
yeah, it is important. I wish I had gotten all my notes, but I think I covered most of it. I think I got most of it out of there. But yeah, it's crucial that we take responsibility with courage, that we develop our inner, our so where what we say, we're not dependent on other people for our happiness. We're not dependent on you to go to be vegan or to be whole food plant based. We're still happy. We're still confident. We're still strong. We accept that you're not ready and we love you. We still love you, right? That's when it shifts and we take responsibility. I'm sorry that I was a jerk to you before, right? I'm sorry that you might think vegans are a jerk, and I understand why you do. That's important. I understand why you think vegans are so crazy and radical. I get it. We got to
Yeah,
connect.
yes. That's so well said, and I, like I said, I really look forward to hearing more from you on this topic, because this is really important, and as a community, we are with we did it. Our community is thrive and inspire. We're looking to inspire people to shift their lifestyle to be more compassionate for all sentient beings. And so this is just the beginning of the thread. And with this month, we're launching all our initiatives, and so much more to come. And watching this video, I want to invite you all to be part of our community and to add your voice, and to help us all as together as a community we figure out how to get to that healthy, happy, well-fed vegan world. So thank you, Mariquita. Thank you so very much. Is
Thank
there
you.
anything else you'd like to add?
Well, please subscribe to We Did It, and please subscribe to my vegan channel, and we're here for you all. If you have questions, please reach out to us, to Peter and to me. I mean, we want to help you. We don't want you to feel alone. We don't want you to feel upset. We don't want you to feel discouraged. We want you to know that we are standing with you on this journey, that we are standing together, right? We are working together, and we love you and thank you for everything you're doing.
Beautiful. So thank you, Marquita. And I want to invite everybody next week, or if you're watching this on YouTube pre-recorded, look for Ann Piotrowski's presentation, which we'll have live next Saturday at 12 o'clock Eastern. And her topic is compassionate disagreement. So yes, disagreement is always present, as you've also pointed out. And how can we do disagreement with compassion? I bet compassionate disagreement looks a whole lot different from hostile disagreement. So uh, I'm curious. I'm really looking forward to Anne's presentation. Please watch that one too. And then the week after, so in February, we're launching, being Valentine's Day in February. Our theme for February is loving animals. So letting animals be our Valentines in a sense, because we are compassionate for them, and they're just such amazing sentient beings, and they're so sweet and so wonderful. So to kick off our month, for February for loving animals is going to be Victoria Moran, and she's going to have a conversation with us. She's certainly, in case you haven't heard of her, and I know very few. There are a few people who haven't, and most have, but she's absolutely one of the original leaders in the vegan movement, and she's done so much amazing work, and she continues to do great things. She has her certification program and her books, and just an absolute leader in this movement. So we are so honored to have Victoria Moran help us kick off our Valentine's month, loving animals. So please join us next week and every week at noon. And you can also find the recordings on our YouTube channel. We did it health on YouTube. And please join us in our communities on Facebook and with our certification program. If you haven't seen that yet, if you'd like to be more effective as an ambassador, please sign up with our certification program. So we can tell you more about that. Reach out to us, and look forward to seeing and hearing from everybody. So with that, thank you, and wish everybody a wonderful weekend and a great day ahead. So
Thank you.
namaste, vegan. And thank you. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.